Hi everybody, it's Holly Burns here, and this is our fifth and final video of the series of questions and answers with the elders, the all-knowing group of souls that I speak with 24/7, that work with me, and my spirit guide's also part of that group. They are like angel type beings to me. They're source energy beings, super high up, like higher than people. And they've been working with me since 2007, around the clock. My spirit guide before that. So we're going to ask them the final question that Kitty had today. Kitty wanted to know, is the income tax or the IRS going to be abolished? Or will the government be restructured? Those were a two-part question she wanted to know about. The elders said, yeah. They said, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. They said there's a very distinct possibility that the IRS can be abolished within the length of Trump's second term. They gave me 3 pictorial answers that go with that telepathic answer. The first one is the 2 cups behind means second term. And it hasn't happened yet because he hasn't been elected, so it's behind the person's back. So that's something that's kind of secret. So the second term, this is Trump, and this is the king. See, this is our President Trump. And this is the happy dance. Everybody doing the happy dance. Works for me. We have a lot to talk about with what the IRS does to everybody and our consciousness. So, well, let me keep to my agenda here. Okay, so the elders said there's a distinct possibility this could happen. Yes, I talked to my friend today. I'm going to talk about her later in the video. She said the same thing, that distinct possibility this could happen in Trump's second term. Then the elders said, there are several states in the country that do fine without any income tax whatsoever. So, the old fallacy that you have to collect tax in order to have infrastructure is needing to be restructured. So, they were talking about how the IRS, they said, let's just talk about consciousness for now. They said, let's not get too deep into the government part of it. We're talking about consciousness, and perspectives on the planet from a consciousness perspective. The elder's like, oh, you don't want to get into that right now. Okay, so, alright. Okay, so, yes. What they did with me is they went immediately into the consciousness aspect of the IRS. And it's huge. I've recognized this for several years. The elders first started talking to me about the IRS back in 2014. So I've been figuring out what they meant by it for years now, and I have a full understanding now of what they're talking about. What it does is it holds us back from becoming the most progressive, the most advanced version of yourself that you can be many times, because people are worried if they let the extra abundance in that they're not going to be able to afford the taxes on it. People, when they've had people lose their homes because that remodeling show where the guy goes in and he remodels the house, and the taxman comes in, raises the taxes so high that the people couldn't afford it anymore, and they actually got evicted from the house that was remodeled for them on TV. I'm thinking to myself, okay, so the TV show didn't step in and help her out and give her like a trust fund or something for the taxes every year that went up? I'm like, are you kidding me? This poor family, they had to be on the street, nowhere to go, because they couldn't afford the taxes after this TV show improved their home. This stuff's happening all over the place. It's ridiculous. I have another friend that we were talking about making some investments together, and she's like, well, okay, but I can't make any money because if I do, then I don't have my health benefits anymore. And she had an ill spouse that had really, really expensive health care, and she couldn't. I'm like, okay, but what if you had like $100,000? No, couldn't get past that. No, that's it. No. I can't do that because I have to make sure that I have this for long term, because who knows how long that would last. What if that runs out? Then what do? It's just rampant. Everybody knows somebody that has had their abundance held back. Now, the elders want to go to the next segue. There's infinite abundance to everybody. There's infiniteness of stuff for everybody on the planet. And humans are manifesting scarcity. Okay, I'll stick to my notes. Okay, I have to go in order. Okay. The first thing they said, 11,005. Yep. They want to tell you one more example. So, one of my clients with my other business was coming into $11,500 because we were helping him find some lost funds from a relative. And he had $11,500 coming. And he almost said no, that he didn't want to take the money because of the taxes on it. I'm going, so you save out. You save out some off the top for the taxes, and you go put that in your savings account. And then at the end of the year, you have to, and I told him like 20 times, go to your accountant, figure it all out, get this taxes part saved out. Okay? So this is just a huge thing. I mean, every single person, to think about this, every single person in America practically has something intertwined in their life with this government agency. So it's pretty big, and it definitely hangs over our heads a lot. I mean, a lot. We have had a lot of fear in our lives of auditing, fines, going to jail, everything. And the elders just said, and you guys created this agency. Yeah, we created it. Now that's a little bit of a story too, because it actually was created not in a legal way, but that's a long story. We're not going to get into that right now, but we kind of are. Okay, yeah. Okay, I can't even do that. I'm skipping that. I'm skipping that for another day. We're back to the notes. Okay, so, the income tax system as it is right now needs to be gone so we can fully expand ourselves. So that's what they're saying. Same thing I just said. I have friends. Yeah, really not a good system for our consciousness. The government's view. Okay, the next point they wanted to make was the government's view of money and how they run the country is flawed. It needs to be inverted. The opposite, which is what Trump understands. It needs to be inverted. The elders said they're operating on the idea of scarcity. And there is no scarcity. And so if you give as much abundance as possible to the people, then more abundance will be created all over, everywhere. And then the country will have more abundance back, and we'll be able to have more money to work with to do what we need to do anyway. It'll all circle and flow through. And that it's a flawed premise that there's only a finite amount of abundance to be had for you. The universe is ready and willing to make every single one of us billionaires. We could be billionaires. If we believed we could create that for ourselves, we would all be billionaires. So they're saying we have to think that the government needs to start thinking of it in the opposite way. And that will bring much freedom to everybody. And if people were able to go fully about their private business without having anything put a damper on it, we would actually have way more abundance. So think about that. If you could just go out and do whatever you want, get whatever you want, don't have to worry about what's going to be with your taxes at the end of the year, you'd probably allow a lot more abundance into your reality. This is all on a subconscious level with our frequencies. So they also want to use the example of Finland doing the opposite. They're doing the opposite of the scarcity, and they've got it going on with their new housing project for homeless people. They are, for free, providing homes for every homeless person in the country and rehabilitating them and getting them back in, contributing back to society as quickly as possible. And it's running great. They said it costs them way less money to do it this way than it does to leave them homeless in the streets, because they have to pay for their welfare, they have to pay for their health care if they're continuing to be homeless. And that the big thing that holds these people back from being able to get back into society is that they don't have a place to live. And you know how that is. It's this chicken or the egg thing. So they said that's really awesome. There's some really good things happening with that on the country. Higher societies in the universe what they pretty much base everything on is helping you create the highest form of yourself and the most production that you can produce to contribute to the one. Meaning that we are all one. So they know if we have low vibrating people that are in the streets, unhappy, poor, destitute, that brings all of us down because we're all an average frequency of everybody's frequencies. And that's the highest the planet can be, is the average of everybody's thoughts and everybody's vibrations. So they don't let anybody be really down. They make sure that everybody is able to freely create whatever they want and do whatever they want. Does that sound awesome? To just be able to be born and be like, you don't have to worry about earning money. You just have to worry about doing what you want to do and contributing back to society. That's pretty fun. That'd be really fun. They also said there's not only one way to do it. So how we're doing it right now is one way. How we have the tax system, how we have our economy set up, how we have money set up. It's one way. And there are more than this way available to us on Earth. We're just creating it this way, but we don't have to keep creating it this way if we don't want to. This is just one way. The universe is at the ready, they said. The universe is at the ready, waiting to provide for us anything we want, however we want to do it. I was trying to figure out the segue between where we are now as a society and getting all the way to not needing money anymore and not using currency, which I know that's exactly where we're going. It's going to take us a while, but that's where we're going. But I'm like, okay, what's the next step? How do we do this? How do we get to a point from where we are now to not using money at all? And I'm like, what do they do on other planets? And I couldn't really put the pieces together. I was reading about Arcturus, and their society, and I'm like, that is so far from where we are now. How do we get there? So I called my friend Anita Owens, who works with the Arcturians, and she is a Arcturian hybrid, and she's been working with them her whole life. She is an open, fully aware individual, and she knows what life is like with that society. And I asked her, I'm like, what do you guys do? What do they do over there for infrastructure? And I knew she was going to laugh at this word. I said, what do they do for an economy? And she said back, they don't have an economy. I knew that's what she was going to say. She said, they don't have an economy and they don't use money. She said, human beings are the only society in the universe that still uses money. Yeah. That's big. That's big. She didn't really tell me how to get there, though. She just said, well, she did, but we talked about consciousness stuff. It's all consciousness stuff. I mean, she did. She told me how to get there, but she didn't say, I guess she didn't say the future of how we're going to get there as humans, like what we're going to do. But she just said, she gave advice to everybody, which is the same advice the elders have been giving us all along in this whole video series. She said the same thing. She said, everybody work on your own self, work on your own frequency, get yourself to your highest vibration, be in touch with Christ consciousness, and all that's going to raise the vibration of the planet, and all that's going to bring about the shift. It's all pretty much, that's the answer to everything. I mean, really it is. Okay, so that was pretty much it. Let me see what else I had. Yeah, for the short term, first steps we need to do is remove anything that's holding us back. So yeah, in conclusion, the first thing we need to do is remove the things that are holding us back. And government regulation and the way the government's working is also holding us back quite a bit too. Like politics holds us back. All we do is tit for tat with each other. Oh, I can't deal with that frequency at all. It's not good. Not good. So we gotta get away from that kind of stuff. That's why the government's gonna get restructured. That part of the government. We have 200 laws per day created across this country by governments every day. 200 laws. Yeah. Did you know in most cities across America, you can only leave your grass so long. And if it gets longer than that, you can't do that. And you have to do everything the way they say, or you can't live there. So this kind of stuff is getting too big. And it's just really bogging everybody down and creating a lot of resistance. You feel that? Resistance. So what we're going to do is we'll probably have like, okay, if you want to live where everybody's the same and you want to have regulations because your neighbors bug you and you want to make sure they're not going to bug you, you can go to that neighborhood, and within that neighborhood, they can make their own laws because everybody agrees that they're going to go their laws. But it's not going to be national government. It's not going to be city government. It's not going to be county government. It's just going to be individual groups of people that want to do something together. That's more like what it's going to be. So you'll still have order, but that's how it's going to be. Oh, one more story the elders want me to tell you. Okay, so I saw this really cool video on YouTube with this man that was 500 years in the future on Earth. And he had figured out how to travel through time. And I think he went out of body, but I don't know. I don't remember, but it's not important. But anyway, he woke up and he was 500 years in the future on Earth. And our government, 500 years in the future, is a humongous computer system that knows everything everybody's doing. So artificial intelligence is our government. And they do have rules, but the rules are be polite to everybody. Be a functioning person, be polite, do not harm anybody else. No killing, no murdering, no abuse, none of that. If you do that, you get taken in to the offices with the artificial intelligence and you get reworked and rehabilitated. And if you do not rehabilitate, they kill you. Pretty much it. That's how it was. They pretty much, put you back to non-physical. They don't have prisons. They don't keep you here. Nope. That's it. Done. Yeah. So we're working toward that, but that's 500 years from now. So we got a ways to go till we get that far. The Arcturians, they don't use computers at all. They have transcended past the need for that kind of technology. They don't use computers. Okay. All right. We have a ways to go. But just so you know, Earth is where it's at right now. We are very, very special because we are the only society in this dimension that is working on taking emotions to the highest level of consciousness that they have been taken to. Most higher societies have to do away with emotions that we have in order to stay at the highest level of consciousness that they're at. Because as we know, negative emotions do what, people? Right. They bring our frequencies down. They bring the consciousness level down. So, in order to transcend to very high frequencies, they have done away with the great scale available to feel. But we're not doing that. We're keeping human emotions and we're ascending to a fifth dimension frequency. Now, I know you don't know what that means, but what it basically means is that our physical shells are going to be vibrating at a faster, higher rate, and we're still going to be able to keep our emotions and do it at the same time. That's huge. So we are being watched by the entire universe. This ascension period we are doing right now and going through, big, really big. So we're kind of cool, basically. So don't think just because we don't have computers and we still have money and then we still have murder and we still have racism and all that stuff that we're just barbaric society. The elders said, well, you kind of are. Okay, well, we kind of are, but we're working on it and we want to keep our emotions at the same time. So that is why so many other alien societies are here helping us right now. And one more little tip. Okay, so Anita was telling me today that the ships from all the different societies are here now surrounding the planet, and many Arcturian ships are here around the planet protecting us from the darkness. So we are ridding, the planet is ridding itself of the dark energies. As all of you know, this is what we're doing. This is what's happening as a result from the pandemic, is we're getting rid of, a lot of that. So this is our level of not allowing and sending things back to the non-physical. We're at least getting to the level of not having some of the lowest forms of behavior on this planet allowed anymore. So we're doing that right now. And remember, in one of my last videos, I said that the elder said that our thoughts are one more so than has ever been able to be happened. I know it's not proper English, but you know what I'm saying. It has never been able to be done before on the entire planet. This pandemic has brought our thoughts to the same frequency around the entire planet, and that is circling the planet right now vibrationally and is raising the vibrations up of the planet. Well, I didn't even, Anita didn't know I said that, and she said the same thing today. She said, the light. So high vibration is light. White light is high vibration. When people die and they say, I saw the light, go into the light, that is source energy. So we are creating high vibration energy right now around the planet. She said that the light around the planet right now is the brightest, the strongest it's ever been in the history of the planet. So same thing the elders just told me a couple days ago. And she said the darkness just can't do the light, like vampires. Just think like vampires. They're like, can't, done, can't do it. So we're doing huge things right now. So it's big. And I didn't know that all these other society ships were, well, I knew they were out there, but she just said ever before right now with this pandemic happening and the shift happening, there's, big stuff going on around the whole universe. And we are, like I said, many different ships are protecting us and watching over us and helping us as we ascend through this level. So once we get to the other side of it, it's going to be pretty big. Okay, well, we kind of got off on a tangent from the IRS, but that's okay. We only had one question to answer in this video, so we could do a few other extra things too. The elders, sometimes they just tell that story. So I do. And now they're not saying anything, so that means we're done. Okay? Thank you, you guys. If you like this content and you want to know when I have something else, I do have some huge things coming about the treatment for the coronavirus as well. Some new things came down the pipe for me yesterday. I cannot wait to share them with you because, I'm in my flow of the wellness and I'm in my flow of the cure and the treatment. So that information is flowing to me. So, and the elders are commenting. So we're doing that next. If you want to make sure you don't miss that, just subscribe and hit the bell that says notification so that you'll be notified. And if you like the video, always remember to hit the like button. Thanks, you guys.